you receiving?
Yeah, boy.
YouTube, are you receiving? Receiving? Okay. I don't know the latency with everything. I don't know what the latency is like. I'm just finishing off my cup of tea.
It's not very off.
How off we talking?
Like a couple seconds.
Oh. Sweet, that's amazing.
Yeah.
So that means like if I'm at something, I'll be able to like actually live Q&A.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. The last time I streamed, I was streaming Hollow Knight, and there was a 30-second delay. But by the time someone said to do something, I was already ahead. Excuse me. That's gonna be happening because tea. Let's just launch right into this. Welcome to online seminar, the role of the SKYWARN spotter. I've never done this before, well, at least the online version. But, well, let's just get right into it.
Yeah, boy.
Begin lesson.
I'm ready to learn.
What? Begin. Let's begin this. Computer shush. I've never done this before, so I don't know exactly what I'm doing. So excuse me.
Hold on, Ender just texted me. Let me see.
I'm just trying to figure this out, don't worry.
Okay. He's eating dinner.
Oh, so it's like much like the quizzes here. Okay, so let's just start with the introduction and me reading shit out.
Yeah, boy. I'm ready to listen.
As soon as I find my water bottle, because I know I'm gonna need that. Okay. Newscaster voice. Today in the United States, there are over 290,000 trained SKYWARN spotters serving their communities by reporting a wide variety of hazardous weather phenomena year-round.
That's amazing. Keep going, keep going.
One breath. You may associate the SKYWARN spotter program with storm chasers, tornadoes, or thunderstorms, but in fact spotters deal with all types of hazardous weather. SKYWARN spotters can report any of the following hazardous conditions to the National Weather Service: convective weather, tornadoes, funnel clouds, hail, and severe winds; flooding, winter precipitation with freezing rain, sleet, and snow, which I have done in the past; high non-thunderstorm winds; wildland fires. That's something I haven't seen. Hurricanes, winds, flooding, or tornadoes. Haven't seen a hurricane, but I live in Ohio.
I live in Texas, so, well, we only get hurricanes around the Houston area, but continue.
It's fine. High surf and rip currents. No. Dense fog, mudslides or landslides, earthquake, tsunami, volcanic ash, and avalanches. Who do you think is eligible to become a SKYWARN spotter? Everybody. Everybody. And everybody. Doesn't matter who you are or what you do, you can become a SKYWARN spotter. Yay.
I don't think it really, like, as long as you...
Yeah, the truth is anyone can become an effective SKYWARN spotter. You just have to volunteer and complete spotter training. In the rest of this module, we will discuss your role as a SKYWARN spotter. In the following scenarios, you will learn how to communicate storm reports, stay safe, and maintain situational awareness while spotting. I'm doing this live because it's more fun.
Yes.
Continue. This scenario introduces a SKYWARN spotter. Is the video audio working?
Yes.
Your engine purrs as you drive down a back road and you steer towards home after work, humming along with the radio. The radio announcer winds down the song with an air of seriousness, unlike his normal chipper voice.
I have a quick weather update for you before we head back to the music. We are still under a tornado watch for much of the listening area through 10 p.m. tonight. So be prepared for severe weather later today as you tough out the heat and humidity. Right now I can see storms developing out the studio window. Try to stay cool and stay safe. Now, back to the music.
Dark clouds are looming in the western sky, billowing ever higher and growing even darker. You reach the last turn before your driveway and come around the corner to see a car pulled off the shoulder with its flashers on. Approaching, you notice someone in the car on a phone. Could something be wrong? Do they need help? You aren't that far from home, so you pull over to check.
That sounds like an electric car. That's an electric car.
Everything okay? You need a hand?
Nope, I'm okay. Watching storms develop. It's looking pretty organized. You might see some hazardous weather a little later when this one sweeps through.
Those skies look angry. What are we in for?
Maybe hail, high winds, possibly a tornado, or just rain. Can't quite tell. No matter, but you might want to find shelter just in case.
I won't be out here when that gets here. I live right up there. Third mailbox. Do you have somewhere to go?
Yeah, I know my escape route and where to shelter if necessary. I'll keep monitoring the storm for the National Weather Service. I'm a SKYWARN spotter. I'll call the NWS.
A what?
A SKYWARN spotter. A trained volunteer who reports hazardous weather to the NWS by providing ground truth. I'll call the NWS if I see anything hazardous, and especially if a tornado forms.
I didn't know you could volunteer for that. I've always wanted to chase storms.
Hold up. A spotter's generally not a chaser. Don't confuse them. We don't go searching for storms. That'd be putting us in more danger. It's best to stay in a sturdy structure like your home unless absolutely necessary, or be prepared to get to one fast.
Yeah, I heard that.
The National Weather Service has issued a tornado warning effective until 5 p.m. for...
That is not what the announcer's voice sounds like.
See that thing coming out of the storm now? That might be why I'm here. Not good. Gotta call this in. There's the rotation and some debris kicking up.
The voice is robotic sounding.
Your stomach lurches. Where's that tornado headed? Where should you go? Where is your family?
Away.
What about your parents across town? They might be right underneath that right now, or very close to it.
Great. NWS has been watching.
Boy.
Radar showed spinning motion, and they issued a warning 6 minutes ago, but now they
You
can
need to
sure
run, dude. Quit talking and leave.
Quit talking to the woman
It could
and
start raining or
run!
hailing anytime soon. The lightning is picking up.
I'm sorry. I shouldn't laugh at that. Oh my god.
And I come we're both just like, run!
How nonchalant. What's that? Ooh, that might be what I'm here for. Not, you should go back to your house now. Go,
Leave.
just go.
Just leave, go. Find shelter, goddammit.
Though, in all seriousness, that is what you are supposed to do. Actually, if you can't contact the National Weather Service, call 911 and report it as a tornado, and they will forward your report to the Weather Service. I've never had to do that before, but if it's a casual thing like you're reporting snow totals, down tree, and you can't call the Weather Service, like you don't have the phone number, you can tweet them at your local Weather Service. You'd have to look it up, but in my case, it's at NWL. Wow. At NWSILN in my area's case.
Is that how they like find out where tornadoes are forming? Is these people call 911?
That and Doppler radar. Sometimes a tornado won't show up on Doppler radar, but this is the importance as ground spotters. If you combine storm spotters with what they're seeing on radar, because what they're seeing on radar might not match what's on ground. They might be seeing a really nice hook echo with that looks like it should be producing a tornado, and there's nothing to be seen. Or they could, or for all they know, there could be a really quick spin up tornado because you've heard how tornadoes can spin up and die in less than 30 seconds. Well, if we're talking about it, this is where my knowledge shows through. If we're looking at the NWSR, wow, I cannot English. If we're looking at the WSR-88D, the radar that every weather service out there uses, it has a scan coverage pattern of 4 minutes on fast, at its fastest. A lot can happen in 4 minutes. A tornado can spin up and die, and all trace of it be gone in that 4 minutes. Where it on its slowest setting, it takes 12 minutes to scan. Whereas if you're looking at an airport's radar, they scan once a minute. It scans once a minute. That's it's called TDWR, Terminal Doppler Weather Radar.
Wow.
And this is all from memory, by the way.
Bruh, I'm interested.
This is all from memory. I don't have anything open. The only thing I've got open on my other screen is the YouTube stream.
Literally, I'm like really interested in this because I've always been interested in weather ever since I was.
This is the importance as to ground spotters. Yeah, same. Wow, you can see Texas's. Woo!
Yep.
Evolution of spotter coverage.
A lot happens in Texas.
But hey, the more spotters out there, the better it is. Okay, now the history of storm spotting. I guarantee we will see it'll mention the importance of ground spotters, which will be what I said. It's not going to go as in depth as I did, but it's going to say that a lot can happen at ground level. Okay, so spotters have been an integral part of making weather warning decisions since the early 40s. Originally, spotters from loosely organized groups were strategically placed around areas of concern, such as munitions plants where lightning was a terrible hazard. In 1942, only 100 spotter networks existed. By 1945, that number had more than doubled. So you can see here. Spotter networks helped warn communities of several tornadoes in the 50s, and in 1952, the National Weather Service began issuing forecast products to the public that alerted both the public and spotters to areas of potential severe weather. As the ranks of spotters grew, the number of reported tornadoes rose, and more warnings were issued with longer lead times. Combining spotters with radar technology as it evolves is why we have up to a half hour before the first tornado actually hits. In the case of one that hit earlier this year, we got the tornado warning at, I want to say, 4:32 p.m. 4:45 p.m. the first tornado was reported on the ground. That amount of lead time is because of technology having evolved and spotters on the ground. In fact, Reed Timmer himself was in the area. If you've watched Storm Chasers, he's one of the major guys on there. He was in the area. I don't know if he had his Dominator with him. If I looked out my window and I saw the Dominator, I would have just instantly ran to the basement. I don't know about you, but if I saw either the Dominator or the Tiv rolling down my street and severe weather was forecasted, I'd be running.
You'd be like, hell no. You'd be like, hell no.
Nope. Okay. In this figure, the solid red line shows the number of tornadoes reported steadily increase after Weather Service forecast. After NWS severe weather forecast products began being issued. The green line shows the number of tornado days, or the number of days with one or more tornadoes reported. Both increased after 1952 after more tornado reports were received. Next. April 11, 1965 was one of the deadliest tornado outbreaks in the United States history. At this time, what was What once had been a thriving spotter network had dwindled due to budget cutbacks and reduced recruiting and training. This deadly event spurred the National Weather Service's efforts to expand the spotter network.
Back when the Palm Sunday tornadoes occurred
Audio
in
working?
1965,
Yes.
I had been with the spotter network for several years at that point. Tornadoes interested me ever since I was a kid on the family farm.
Same.
Sue and I lived in Dunlap, Indiana, up in Elkhart County. The day was kind of ordinary. Perhaps it was a bit humid for that time of year. We went to church. It was Palm Sunday. And then we had lunch with the Jacobsons. Later that evening, Sue was inside listening to the radio, and I went back out to work on a fence. I saw eerie, steely gray clouds heading toward us from the southwest. The clouds seemed to be falling out of the sky as I watched. Perhaps I was imagining it, but as it got closer, the sky was turning green. I never seen anything like that. It was almost out of another world. I haven't seen anything like it since. I headed back toward the house. Sue met me on the porch, and boy, she was in a fit. "Henry, the man on the radio said a tornado is heading our way, and we should get inside."
What should they have done next? Stay outside, watch the skies, move to a safer location, call friends cross town, or drive? I'd say
B.
I would be caught
Like,
dead
bitch,
outside with a
why would you go back outside?
Yeah.
Like I said, I'd never really seen anything like that before in my life. We spent the next hour in the dark, listening to the wind thrash our house and the rain pounding. We never really knew whether it was a tornado or not. Couldn't do anything about it anyway. We listened to boards cracking and glass shattering, and we just prayed for our lives in the basement.
Wow. Oh my god.
We had some damage, but the storm must have passed north
That
of
looks
us.
like a
We
double
were
tornado.
lucky.
It is
The
a
houses
double
up north were
tornado.
devastated.
Either that or it's a massive
Later, we heard at a second
multi-vortex
tornado had
tornado.
moved through the area that night.
with
Whoa.
Our friends lost everything, including their son.
oh. That's a way to end the video.
Oh.
Wow.
Oof. Oh, man.
Indeed. Palm Sunday outbreak. Okay, this was... I'm actually going to grab my little filter thing and put it in and put it over my mic so that I can get closer to it. Give me a hot sec.
Okay.
Carroll County, Clinton County, Tippecanoe County. This is Ohio. No. I want to see if I can figure out what state this is. Actually, I don't know. Never mind.
You don't see your county on there, do you?
Nope. There are some Dark County? Mercer County? What the fuck? That's like...
Oh? That's where Darkiplier, Antiseptic Guy, and the rest live.
Where was this? Palm Sunday outbreak. April 11th, 1965, one of the deadliest tornado outbreaks in the United States history. Are you sure that wasn't April 3rd to 4th, 1974, the super outbreak where over, I want to say, 145 tornadoes hit 14 to 15 states?
Dear Lord.
And then it was superseded by a tornado storm in 2011. Severe weather of some sort was reported in 14 states. 260 people were killed and more than 3,000 injured. In one day, the tornadoes caused $1.191 billion in property damage. Is that inflation adjusted or 1965 dollars? That's $1965, and holy hell.
Damn, that's a lot of money.
Yeah. Spotters reported the Elkhart tornado, no doubt saving lives, yet there were too few spotters for such a massive outbreak. What had once been a thriving spotter network had dwindled due to budget cutbacks and reduced recruiting and training. At that same time, radar coverage was sparse, and Doppler radar was non-existent, so spotters were especially important in detecting tornadoes. The National Weather Service stepped up its spotter training and recruiting after this, which eventually led to the SKYWARN spotter program now in place today. How do you think the role of spotters changed over time? New forms of communication, better scientific understanding, better access, deployment, all but that.
Yep.
Oh, I thought it said something different. Next one. Spotter reports. Depending on where you live in Texas, wow, holy shit, Texas has a lot of National Weather Service offices.
I live in San Angelo.
Oh, okay, so that would be your office.
Yeah.
That would be the office you make reports to if you're in your area. Okay, so spotters send their reports to individual NWS weather forecast offices, WFOs. There are 122 WFOs in the United States, including Puerto Rico and Guam. Well, Puerto Rico. Each office is responsible for weather forecasts and issuing warnings. Your reports aid the warning process by telling the WFOs exactly what's going on in the field, which is also known as providing ground truth. Sometimes forecasters have evidence of a tornado or other severe weather, but doubt lingers about what's actually going on. In the case of heavy rain and snow events, the amount of precipitation can vary quite a bit over an office's area of responsibility. If you become a spotter, your reports could help in the decision-making process to get warnings to the public and save lives. Not joking about that.
I can be a hero.
Possibly. The NWS creates many different products to inform the public about the potential for hazardous weather in their forecast area. Find them at weather.gov.
Yeet. Taking a note. Hold on.
Okay. I can wait. I'm just scrolling through this page, seeing what the rest of it is. Okay. I actually have once tweeted the National Weather Service with a snow report. I did that earlier this year.
Cool. Okay, I'm done.
Okay. Then after this, there's some other resources that if it doesn't show, I can easily go over that too.
Okay.
This scenario continues the story of your journey as a SKYWARN spotter.
Uh-oh.
After meeting the spotter who reported the tornado near your house, you knew you could help your community the same way. The sky seems to draw your attention more now than ever before. You completed SKYWARN spotter training through your local weather service office, but no hazardous weather has cropped up since. Your cell phone is burning a hole in your pocket as you wait to call the National Weather Service with a report.
Bad description.
Today, you're at home working in the yard. Storm clouds have been building all around. You've heard an occasional rumble of thunder, but haven't seen lightning yet.
I love the
local
dog barking.
NWS Hazardous Weather Outlook, which you read earlier, said that severe storms were expected to develop with tornadoes a possibility,
NWS
and called for
Hazardous
spotter
Weather
activation today. So in reality,
I get
you've
chills
been doing more cloud watching than yard work.
whenever I see spotter activation expected. Where are you safe outside if you hear thunder? You aren't safe. Because lightning can strike up to 10 miles away from the parent thundercloud.
Yeah. I had like there was like a class, there was like a part of my elementary class like where you listen for thunder, you count seconds, and it tells like however many seconds they are, that's like how far the storm is away from you.
In Scouts there's a rule I was in Boy Scouts for 8 years.
Mhm.
There is a rule that if thunder is heard and you cannot, like, you have to take shelter and stay there for at least 30 minutes after the last thunder is heard.
Hmm.
Especially at summer camp. If there's no shelter, then I don't know what the policy is because our troop never had that happen.
Dig a hole.
When thunder
If you can
roars,
hear
goes
thunder,
indoors.
you can be struck by lightning.
Yep.
You should immediately move into a safe shelter and stay there for at least 30 minutes after the thunder stops. Remember, when thunder roars, go indoors.
Called it! Thank you, ear rape thunderclap.
Oh dear.
You are startled by a particularly loud clap of thunder. Strikes seem to be more frequent.
Okay, I have a story about a particularly loud clap of thunder. So, at home, at the 2 separate occasions, one was so loud the dog jumped a couple feet up in the air off my parents' bed. Another one was so loud and shook the house so bad, because we live in a forest, we actually heard the squirrels in the attic skitter and run and hide. We actually heard the squirrels in the attic get scared, and it was hilarious.
Oh, you heard what?
Yes. All we heard was like...
Okay, I have a story. So, back in 3rd grade, there was actually a tornado warning, and I didn't know, and I'm just super scared of storms, like big storms, and the teacher opens the door, and I look at her and I'm like, why did you open the door? And she goes, everything's gonna be fine, and all of a sudden, boom. Big clap of thunder, and I'm like, I screech and I run. I'm just like, oh my god, help. And then all my friends were just staring at me like,
see,
are you okay?
I used to be terrified of thunder, because like when I was little, my parents used to count the seconds after a thunderclap before I started whining. But now I love them, and I think that's partially what drove my interest in weather. Like it's scary but fascinating. I think that's
Yeah.
I think that's
To be honest, it really is.
I think that sums up both of the reason why we're both interested in weather. Scary.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, a tornado's coming at me. I'm probably gonna be a quivering mess.
Yeah, same.
Actually, that almost did happen.
Oh, did I tell you about my bus ride to a singing competition?
No.
Okay, this was a couple, who joined? Oh dear, I got ear raped by Chara.
We're streaming now, Charlie.
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
Okay.
really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Hello.
Oh, I didn't know.
Okay, so my story. It was like 5 something in the morning, and we were traveling to Odessa to go to something called Region, and it's a singing competition for my school. And what happened is on the way there it started raining really hard, and like if you looked out the window you couldn't even see because it was covered by water.
Oh wow.
And the bus, it was a yellow bus.
Yeah.
So like I don't know what we would have done, because I look at my phone, I'm listening to music, not all of a sudden I hear with like the weather alert.
Flash flood warning?
No.
Oh.
Tornado warning.
Oh.
And I sat there and I was like, oh dear Lord. And I was like, oh no, we're all gonna die. Oh no. And then all my friends were like, Jordy, shut the fuck up. And I was like, we're gonna die. And
loud people are back again.
And then And then I heard a big thunderclap, and I was like, oh no. This is it. I was like, this is it. We're running into the tornado. And then I called my dad. I'm like, Dad, you need to wake up. There's a tornado. And he goes, what? He just sits there. And I'm like, Dad, there's a tornado. I'm gonna die. And he's like, chill out. You're not gonna die. And I just think that's just says how much I'm afraid.
Well,
of weather.
Hopefully by the end of this, you'll understand storms a bit more and understand the mechanics. Now,
hopefully.
Going back to this.
Now, based on the increasing rumbles.
Sorry,
the sky has been growing louder, and now you pinpoint the storm, which is doing most of the talking. The clouds have grown very tall over you, spreading out across the sky. According to your spotter training, you need to get inside to keep safe from the lightning. You throw all your tools in the wheelbarrow with a clink of metal and head for the garage. You hear the first raindrops hitting your patio and feel their cool, wet impacts on your bare skin. The smell of fresh rain rises from the ground. You have a good view of the upper tier of the storm from your garage. The slate-colored skies are getting closer. The squeak of the garage door announces your presence in the house. The rest of the family is in the living room watching TV. The familiar tone alert for NWS warnings echoes in your ears. Your children complain about the noise, but you are thankful for the warning. Rushing to the living room, you ignore the groaning and ask your family to quiet down so
you actually want to know what that is? That's actually those first three things aren't actually there to grab your attention. They're actually there as a signal to radio, to like weather service radios.
Really?
It's like a signal wave. It lets them know, hey, wake up! There's been an alert issued. Wake up,
guys! Wake the fuck up!
Yeah, pretty much. It's not only there as an alert, but like, okay, so which information is most important in the warning? Then let's see if I can do the voice good. The National Weather Service has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for northeast Springfield County until 6:30 p.m. A severe thunderstorm currently 6 miles southeast of Tabot is moving northeast at 35 miles an hour. Frequent lightning, gusty winds, and quarter-size hail have occurred within this storm. Severe thunderstorms can and often do produce tornadoes. People in the path of this storm should take cover in an interior room on the lowest floor of your house. Which is the most important location?
The location of the storm.
Sorry, the most important in the warning. Choose the best answer. I'd say all of the above.
Actions you should take. Yeah.
Yes. Oh wow, it actually had that. How good
you
did
listen to the warning.
Yeah, because as I read them all, I was like, yeah, most of these are really important.
Storm 6 miles southwest of town.
Why is it important to move to a safe location in your house in a severe thunderstorm? Large hail can break windows. No. Strong winds associated with yes. Large hail is an indication of yes.
Yes.
What's this one about?
Large hail and strong winds can cause significant damage, including breaking windows. So don't stand in front of your windows watching the storm.
Kitty!
Tornadoes can occur with severe thunderstorms.
Tornadoes.
And larger hail size is an indication of how severe the storm is. Keep in mind that as valuable as your observations are to the NWS, your personal safety should be your first concern. It is possible that other spotters are better positioned to observe the storm safely. Spotters should not do anything that would jeopardize their safety or anyone else's.
Get to the bathroom.
Get in the. I was gonna say. Get
the winds
in the
gust higher, driving rain into your windows. The noise grows louder.
Get in the
Still
bathroom.
no hail. Your phone beckons from the other room.
Who has a house phone
anymore? You tell your family to
anymore?
let it ring. You need to stay in the bathroom in case the storm gets any worse.
Exactly. If
your kids want to look outside, but you restrain them, knowing that the hail could start falling soon, or a tornado could emerge out of this storm because any severe thunderstorm has the possibility of dropping a tornado.
Yes, but if the conditions are not
noise of hail pounds on the exterior
if the conditions
of your house.
are wrong, then
you wonder how your house is going to fare through this beating.
I've never taken
the
cover
pounding
when
hail
a severe
continues
thunderstorm
for what
warning's
seems
been
like
issued.
an eternity. You wonder when it will stop.
Unless it's combined
Almost
with a tornado
immediately,
watch.
like the storm could read your mind, the beating crescendos, but eases.
It's
This
concerning.
isn't a sign that the hail is over, only a sign that the hail is likely increasing in size. Even if it ended, there's still no reason to leave the safety of the bathroom. Oftentimes, large hail diminishes or ceases right before the arrival of a tornado. You can't help but think about your poor vegetable garden.
Yes,
It's
but in that
probably
case,
ruined.
in the
power
arrival of
fails.
a tornado,
Hopefully the house hasn't taken too much damage.
and the
You
case
haven't
of
heard
the
any
tornado
glass shattering,
arrival,
so it can't be too
there would
bad.
be tornado sirens going off, and you
After
would
what
get
was
an alert
probably
on your
only
phone.
another few minutes, the storm seems to be over. No hail, no rain. Still occasional thunder. The wind seemed to be gasping now rather than gusting, while the patch of light in the hallway brightens again. You tell your family you know it's boring in here, but you need to give it a few more minutes, since there still could be a tornado nearby or about to strike. You can handle a few more minutes.
I just bring my
You turn on
laptop
the
with
NOAA
me.
weather radio and hear that the warning for your area has expired.
Leave.
A severe thunderstorm currently 6 miles southeast of Talbot is moving northeast at 35.
I've never heard that
You
voice
decide
before.
it's safe to leave the
Me
bathroom.
either.
Entering the hallway, your family bursts into conversation. One of your sons cries, "Whoa! Look at how much hail's out there! You can't even see the grass anymore."
That's
Your other son
that's a real
says,
picture.
"Ooh, the neighbors won't be too happy about their car being
Looks
eaten
like
at."
snowballs.
It's
You venture
not,
outside
that's
and
hail.
take a few
It's
sample
hail,
hail
yeah, I
stands to
know.
measure, and then dial the local NWS office to report
Flip
the hail.
phone.
When the forecaster answers, you make your report.
Hello, my name is Jane Crystal, and I'm Weather Spotter 456. I'm at home near the intersection of Hill Street and Pottawatomie in Greendale. I want to report golf ball size hail that is completely
This is about
covering the ground.
how you would say this
The
would
hail
be the
fell for
proper
about 8
form of a
minutes.
report.
It started around 6:11 p.m. No, nobody is hurt here. My number is 333-555-8723, and my name is Jane Crystal.
Okay, so name, location of spotter, at
Jane
home,
Crystal.
location of hazardous weather, type of hazardous weather. What would you say? Sorry, I'm doing this rather than letting you all answer, which is what I wanted the intention of this to be. Okay, so which do you think it would be? Location of spotter.
Well, she said she was at home, but
At home.
the other one says the intersect.
Yeah, but where's home? The National Weather Service wants to know where the event happened, not where you live.
Well, the location of the spotter is that she says that she's at home. So, okay. Hazardous weather. Will you click on it?
Duration or the location?
The
Which one? Type, time, or duration?
duration.
It'd be hail for 8 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then contact information would be just the phone number.
Yeah, her phone number.
How do we do? Oh, so
Yeet, motherfucker.
that, yes, golf ball, yes, and yes. Pretty much got it.
Yeah. See, I told the location of the spotter near the intersection.
Quite, okay. Literally everything. Literally everything. Yeah, all of them are correct. Telephone. Advantages. Direct communication, immediate contact. You have to find their local phone number. Yeah, you have to be a licensed. This is the method that I use to submit my snow total report. And you can attach photos, but it requires an internet connection. Which, if the case is which if the power is out, there might not necessarily be. Internet spotter network must take online training. That's basically what this is. Amateur radio, well, yeah, phone traffic due to numerous reports. You have to find the number. There are many ways. No, you don't need a Twitter license. I meant to click that one. If you needed a license to use Twitter, oh dear. Oh dear.
Oh.
Where might you see or hear? All of the above. All of the above, actually.
Yeah.
Yee. Roll of this reporting from the road. Oh dear. No. 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 You're fucking stupid. Fucking stupid. Yes. Sorry. The saying is turn around, don't drown. I guarantee it's going to be said in this video.
After a lunch hour appointment across town, you see a storm a few miles to the north. The sky is getting darker, but you think the storm won't threaten town based on its location. If they say turn around, don't drown,
you check your watch. I called it.
You have a sliver of time before you have to get back to work. A couple of those after-work errands should fit in right now, and they're on your way back to the office. A couple of stores and several heavy bags later, you stroll back to your SUV. The skies are still a delicate blue here in town, unlike yesterday when it rained all day, ruining your Sunday plans. The storm north of town, on the other hand, seems to have received reinforcements. The storm seems oddly stationary. Could it be an optical illusion?
Nah.
It should have moved by now.
Nah.
You check your watch.
It's called a
It looks like you spent a little too much time running those errands. Driving quickly down Main Street toward the river crossing at 6th, you pass a herd of swimsuit-clad, flip-flop teens that are shuffling up the street, soaked from head to toe, some of them shivering, none of them with towels. You smile as you think back to seeing them happily swinging into the river when you drove by before lunch. The parade of traffic slows ahead of you, but you don't see anything wrong. Why does traffic always slow down when you need it to go faster? You crane your neck to see the problem. The road looks wet. Did those kids splash all that water up onto the streets? You think to yourself, oh, come on, it's just some water.
If it's moving, if the water is moving, no. No. If it's...
The car in front of you stops over the culvert and the driver stares north, jockeying to see what is going on. You follow suit. The tree-lined banks of the river have water now right up to the tree trunks, much higher than only an hour ago. When you finally get a good view of the crossing, you see the stream crushing the culvert and building up behind it. The water has risen almost to the road. Gawking at the rush of water from the north, you finally put two and two together, remembering that stationary storm. The river must be right under that storm to the north, which hasn't moved. Water finally spills over the road.
Nope.
The car in front of you starts forward, crossing through the running water.
Not risking it.
A couple more cars approach the crossing from behind you.
Nope.
With drivers sporting the same look of exasperation.
Nope, out of there.
Nope. 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 See?
The NWS advocates the slogan, "Turn around, don't drown." Don't ever try to cross running water, either in your vehicle or by foot. Most individuals are surprised to find out how powerful moving water can be, even if it is shallow.
Not even.
Just 6 inches of fast-moving water is enough to knock you off your feet, and 2 feet of water can float most vehicles, including SUVs like yours. If the water is moving fast, it can sweep your SUV off the overpass and into the river. To be safe, turn around and look for an alternate route. For a split second, you think about racing across the water.
Nope. You're an idiot.
Instead, you slowly back out of traffic and turn around and move to the side of the road. Looking back on the river in your rearview mirror, you notice the other cars hesitating before crossing the rising water. You reach for your phone, thinking about how dangerous this situation could become.
Oh, that's a good question. Who do you call, the weather service or 911, saying, hey, the river's flooding, you might want to close this road? Ooh, that's a good question. Now, I've got a tantalizing question for you at the end of this.
Uh-oh.
Which one do you call?
Ghostbusters?
No, that's not the question. This one. I'd probably say the National Weather Service. Do you agree? Do we agree?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
911?
Yeah. Okay, I'm just as surprised as you are.
Okay.
But
Although calling the NWS is important for those downstream of this flash flood, it is more important to make sure that emergency officials secure this river crossing and likely check other crossings for rising waters.
yeah.
On average, over the last 30 years, flooding has caused the most severe weather-related deaths annually. Each
By
year,
drowning.
between 40 and 60% of flood-related deaths occur in vehicles. This is why NWS promotes the slogan, "Turn around, don't drown." Dialing 911 is the best thing you could do right now.
Good point.
After calling 911, calling the NWS should be your next priority so they can help spread the warnings downstream. Calling work, although personally important, is the lowest priority.
And then if you're not in America, whatever your local emergency or whatever your emergency is, I know in Great Britain it's 999, even though they don't have the National Weather Service. They have, I actually don't even know, but every country it's different. I know in Great Britain it's 999. We have 911 and so on. I'd say Twitter or email. Or that.
Yeah.
It said choose the best answer. You have to have a license to use amateur radio. Also, remember these phones?
I had one of them.
Although you've never used Twitter for making weather reports, you have been trained on how to do it. Using the Twitter app on your mobile phone, you tweet your report into the keypad. Only now do you think about calling work to let them know you are on your way. You cross the river downstream at a high bridge and get back to the main drag and then pass by the bridge where you turned around and see this scene. Emergency officials had obviously arrived on the scene since the road is blocked from at least one direction now.
Next, reporting safety. Safety, this is critical. As a spotter, it is your responsibility to stay safe while spotting. You're asked to abide by the following guidelines both for your personal safety and the safety of those around you. The spotter's personal safety is the primary objective. Should adhere to the concept of ACEs at all times. The spotter should obey federal, state, and local laws and directives from public safety officials. So if the road's blocked and they're telling you to turn around, listen. The spotter should never put themselves in harm's way. This includes attempting to walk or drive over obstructions, for example, flooded roadways or down power lines, and positioning themselves under objects that have a potential to fall, I don't know what that was, or be blown over due to severe weather. ACEs, awareness, communication, escape routes, safe zones. Commonly used by emergency management personnel, stands for awareness, communication, escape routes, and safe zones. If you remember ACEs, you can stay safe in any situation, including spotting. Awareness means you constantly observe the situation around you. This is sometimes referred to as situational awareness, something that I do not have. Continuously monitoring the risks around you can save your life, especially in rapidly changing weather conditions. Knowing that there is a river crossing or knowing that the street is lined with power poles and trees can help you be prepared for the hazards of severe weather. When you are aware of these imminent threats and you are thinking ahead about possible outcomes, you can position yourself better to minimize these threats. Communicating your whereabouts to others on a regular basis and have multiple lines of communication available can keep you and others safe from hazards. Escape routes are important when you need to get away from danger. An escape route is a clear path that will allow you to reach your safe zone well before harm arrives. Anytime you're acting as a spotter, you should continuously note and monitor escape routes available to you. Remember that your escape route must allow you to reach your safe zone in time to protect yourself. A proper escape route always leads to the safe zone. A safe zone or shelter is an area in which you are safe during a hazardous condition. Your safe zone can either be a location to shelter in place or an area completely away from the hazardous event. Always identify a clear safe zone. Charlie, shush. Always clearly identify a safe zone in an area which no harm will come to you. At times, it may be necessary to establish multiple safe zones with multiple clear escape routes. In the event of severe weather, a safe zone should always be the lowest portion of a sturdy building away from all windows. For mobile spotting, your safe zone could be an area away from the severe weather. Always clearly identify and continually monitor your safe zone and escape routes to limit your risk and be ready to use them to protect yourself from harm. Remember ACEs to remain aware of your surroundings, have open lines of communication, know your escape routes, and know your safe zones. Wherever you go can increase your safety significantly. Also, plan multiple escape routes, because if you only have one plan and that route closes, you're SOL. You're screwed.
Oof.
Indeed. Next page. This is the summary. Staying safe while spotting is not always easy. Just remember ACEs. It really is a great thing. What's next? Takeaways. 7 key components. Okay, this is where we do the quiz now. Ready?
All right, let's do this.
Go to the quiz. Comment.met.ed. Of all the methods of communicating a spotter report, which provides the immediate contact with the appropriate officials?
Telephone.
E. Choose all that apply. Telephone, and I want to say amateur radio.
Yeah.
But you have to have a license for that, but whatever. Which of the following are one of the 7 key elements of a complete spotter report? Choose all that apply. Duration, time, type, location. I'd say, yeah, spotter identification card, I guess. So all
type of hazardous weather.
So all but the last one?
Yeah.
Once a spotter report has been submitted, information within it may be communicated directly to the public, other emergency or government agencies, and local media outlets. Yes, it did say that.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. There we go.
Don't die, Azzy.
Yes, don't die. You have so much to live for.
I'm here. I just needed to take a drink. Floods, because we just covered that. We just covered floods.
Mm-hmm.
I fucking said that. I literally said that multiple times.
Turn around, don't jump.
Neutral is a no-no. No.
Neutral is a no-no.
No.
Yes,
okay.
Which
of the following guidelines should one abide by as a SKYWARN spotter? Always. Frequently. Yes. Just all of these. Just all of these. Right?
Yes.
Which of the following is not an event? Lightning. There is one exception. If the lightning causes damage to property or injuries or fatalities, that is the only case where you report lightning to the Weather Service. Any other time, no, they don't give a damn.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
That's the only exception. ACEs, the primary of every spotter, yes. Awareness, yeah, because the first one is safety.
Yes.
Spotters submit their reports to which one of the following entities? NWS, and the English.
The Weather Channel.
No. To become a SKYWARN spotter, the only requirements are that one must complete spotter training and volunteer their time to the effort. I want to say yes, but it's
false.
Yeah, because if it's talking about the online spotter training, most Weather Service offices require that you also take one of their spotter training courses, which aren't going to be offered again until the spring. So I'm going to go with false.
Yeah.
This is John Doe at the Springtown Park at 5th Street and Madison Avenue. We've just experienced some damaging wind gusts here about 3 minutes ago. I guess that'll make their occurrence about 5:10 p.m. We had to take shelter in the pavilion restrooms. There are 8 to 10 inch tree limbs and power lines down. The winds last less than a minute and no one's hurt. My spotter ID number is 845 and my cell here is 12345678890. Match the text.
What a wonderful number.
Yep.
Spotter name. That would be spotter name. That would be... I want to say the type. And then time. So,
yeah.
I want to say this would be the name. This would be...
I don't think it would be the type.
Of these options, what do you think it would be?
Let's see.
Because 8 to 10 inch tree limbs would indicate either wind or tornado. Probably because wind.
Okay.
Oh
yeah, then you're right.
Time, yeah. Spotter ID number. I don't know. Spotter location. It doesn't mention any location.
I don't think it would be spotter name. I think it would be
not a contact information.
Yeah, contact information.
Finish? Should we? Finish?
See how we did.
Yes, let's see.
It's grading. Yay!
Yay!
Where do we fuck up?
We passed!
Yeah,
That's
true.
all I need.
Wait, only 2 falls for... Oh, then we passed with 99%. Yay!
88%.
All I did was nothing because I was not here for the whole time.
Certificate, please take the survey.
Please take the survey.
Did you learn anything?
Nothing.
Yes, I did.
The content was relevant.
Oh, only thing I learned
Agreeing.
was they give a shit about lightning, everything else.
Oh, by the way,
Yes.
there's another part of this. It's much shorter. I was gonna say, my question is, and this is a legitimate question that has been asked. So, in a tornado warning, you're supposed to take cover in a basement, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
In a flash flood warning, you're supposed to get to high ground, right?
Mm-hmm.
What happens if both are issued at the same time for the same area? And this has happened to me before. What do you do?
Find a middle ground?
Sorry, I'm futzing with my mic spit filter right now. What I'm gathering is that what you're doing is... Yes, strongly recommend. Yes. Well, for me, no. This was more of a refresher. But for you guys, yes. Studied it informally. I'm basically teaching this to you all, so I guess I could...
Yes. And I'm the one who never learns.
Oh,
Mr. Alien!
I forgot to do that. What? Certificate for this lesson. Yee!
Yay! now I can teach.
So let's go back to this. So we just did that one. This is the one that we're gonna do next. This teaches you how storms form. Wait, oh, it's another hour. I thought it was much shorter than that. Do you want to continue or do you want to end it here? It's up to you.
Let's continue. Let's continue. Let's continue.
I'm fine with either.
Let's continue.
Shush, Charlie. What do you want to do?
Charlie, shut up!
What do you want to do? Shush.
Fine, I'll stop.
Let's see. Do I have another hour?
It's only 8:30 for you.
I forgot that you have your stuff to do. Sorry, I forgot.
I can try to speed run this if I need to.
Nah, let's not speed run it.
Yes. Speed running is
but let's do it.
Okay.
I can stay up.
Plus, this is cool. This is where like you learn the convective basics of a storm. Like this is the nitty gritty. Introduction to convention. Yes. It is suggested that you complete roll. We just did that. Next. Storm cloud looms.
Walking out of the grocery store, your eyes scream for sunglasses to block the brow-beating sun and aggravating brightness of the billowing clouds. Rolling your cart full of groceries to the car, you flick your glasses to your nose with a skyward glance. Small white puffy clouds reside to the north and east on a backdrop of lightest blue. The mirage across the parking lot tells you the pavement must be baking. A moderate breeze rustles a plastic bag across the lot. You stuff your groceries into the trunk, closing the lid behind you, and return your cart to the corral. Seconds later, you accelerate onto the street and get your first glimpse behind the grocery store. A storm cloud looms in the distance. You're acutely aware that the Storm Prediction Center, SPC, was calling for the possibility of severe thunderstorms later this afternoon, including high winds and damaging hail. A few things you see on this moderately sized thunderstorm foreshadow events you may see later today. The wispy anvil doesn't bode well for this storm's life expectancy, but still, that rain shaft is obviously giving someone a thorough soaking.
Anvil?
This storm seems like it is on its way out, but with the SPC's predictions, this may only be the beginning.
April 3rd, earlier this year, I was sitting in the main dining area with my friends. We were studying for a class, and it was raining and hailing. This was at around 11 in the morning, around 11 to noon. This was around then. And you heard me talk about this earlier.
Yeah.
Later that day, we got a tornado. So yeah, it was just the precursor. I know all about that. Throughout this module, multimedia galleries. Yes, this is a full-on thunderstorm viewed from.
It looks like an anvil.
That's why it's called that. That is
why it's called an anvil.
Aptly named for the blacksmith tool of the same shape. However, in thunderstorms, only the uppermost part of it. You can be miles away from the rain core and still be underneath the anvil. Some anvils can be quite small with respect to the rest of the storm. One can use the anvil as a proxy for a single storm's maturity or compared to against other storms. This crisp edge, look at how well defined this is. Look at it. I wish I could draw on my screen, but I can't. But yeah, you can see how well defined this is. And then look at how long and wispy this anvil is. Especially like this, there's some Mamadas. Yeah, wispiness means it may be weakening. Yeah, on the bottom of any anvil, you'll see various bulb-shaped protrusions or sacs called Mamadas. Mamadas clouds derive their name from the Latin mama, meaning udder or breast. Although sometimes ominous-looking, Mamadas clouds are not an indicator of storm strength, longevity, or tornadic activity. They can also occur at any time in the life cycle of a thunderstorm and be almost any color depending on the sun angle. I've only seen Mamadas once in my life.
Oh.
And it was while we were driving on a bus trip, while the robotics team was driving on a bus trip to Chicago. I looked out the window and was like, son of a bitch, there's Mamadas.
I just realized I've been calling my mom Mama.
Oops.
Oops. I've been calling her basically a titty.
Okay.
Sorry, Mom.
Overshooting tops like the one seen here just above the anvil. Shush. are hard to see at short range depending on the anvil size. Overshoots can be a good indicator of storm strength. The taller and wider the overshoot, the stronger it can be. Yup. Next one. Rain shaft virga. Precip shafts are visible areas beneath the storm that contain rain or hail. They appear as wispy streaks beneath the storm's cloud base, like that. When precipitation evaporates before it reaches the ground, it is called a virga. This photo shows both virga middle and rain shafts left and right. Notice how it doesn't show all the way?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Hail shafts are commonly white instead of gray, but lighting can make this very difficult to discern. They can often be confused with tornadoes, but if you look closely, there's no rotation present. It can be tough to distinguish between rain shaft and hail shaft, as lighting differences can cause varying colorations to the precipitation. So certainty about the type can be low, because that's a hail shaft. Notice how it kind of looks like a tornado right in the middle.
Yes.
It's not. It's not.
Yeah. If it was tornado, there will be some circles that are like spinning around.
Yeah. Barrel-like updrafts.
In your mirrors, you glance back at the brewing convection. Nothing too ominous. More thunderstorms developing, some larger than others, some growing, others having trouble maintaining themselves. A few minutes later, the garage door crawls up its tracks as you roll up your driveway. Glancing skyward on each successive trip to your trunk, storms are clearly closer to town now. It's obvious that these storms mean business. Larger thunderstorms, with wide, barrel-like updrafts. The storm closest to the neighborhood displays a crisp anvil, but surprisingly, you can't spot a rain shaft on this thunderstorm.
Notice how it almost looks like there's stacked plates at the bottom?
Yeah.
Yeah, there is.
Those are called striations.
Oh.
And
really
and what that means is basically the wind at those levels are defining the way the storm looks.
Wow.
An updraft is the lifeblood of a thunderstorm. Without it, the updraft would weaken and eventually dissipate. This is where all the thunderstorm growth begins. The updraft supplies a thunderstorm with warm air and moisture-aiding development. Updrafts can be vertical or tilted, as seen here. Hang on a second. God damn it, that's not what I meant to click. Hang on, I'm looking for something.
Okay.
I'm actually just gonna tell my computer to just find it. I know what I'm looking for, don't worry. Okay, never mind. I'll just go back to it. Tilted updrafts typically produce longer lasting storms than vertical updrafts, but either can produce reportable hazardous weather. Exactly. When updrafts are tilted and the precipitation is falling elsewhere from the storm, the base of an updraft is typically precip-free, at which time the bottom is called a rain-free base. Simple way to identify a tilted updraft. When the updraft punches through the anvil and often lines up with where the overshooting top would be, if one is present. The rain-free base of a thunderstorm is where the vast majority of a tornado develop. Depending on the type, the updraft can either be a single column or a long wall of upwards motion. This case shows the latter. Approaching rapidly.
You have a few more to-dos before you can call it a day. It's time to get the kids at school and take them to their baseball game. But like you told them this morning, you won't be surprised if the game is canceled, given SPC's forecast. 20 minutes later, you're driving a noisy car full of school kids to the baseball diamonds on the edge of town. It'll be another 10 minutes until you get to the fields, but the skies are darkening to an interesting shade of greenish blue, and the wide rain shaft is approaching rapidly, maybe 10 or 15 minutes away.
Turn around.
It's obvious that the baseball game will be canceled now.
Why?
Frequent lightning,
Green
plenty of rain,
skies?
and oddly colored clouds, and it will all be on top
Why
of
they
you
turn
soon.
green is not
You call
well
your husband to
understood.
let him know your plans for getting the family safely home.
Why they turn green is not exactly well understood, but what typically It means hail and tornadoes is what green sky means. Which of the safety tasks have you applied? Communication. You're aware of the development called husband. Escape routes haven't been thoroughly evaluated. Yeah, you've given little thought to anything. I would be making. If I saw the clouds green. I would be telling if say you all were in the car with me. I would be like, if I was driving, I would say, look at the radar now. Look at the radar. Find close areas, find close safe areas, like a bank, literally anything. Someone else would be looking on the GPS, finding the closest way home.
Sounds like a plan in case we ever get in the car together.
Storm coloration gallery. Like the one you're approaching, storms can take on odd colors when enough precipitation is produced inside them. See? Notice how it's a bluish? And then in here it's a greenish. It is not necessarily an indicator of hail or tornadoes, but it typically is. But can simply indicate copious amounts of precipitation inside the storm. The old idea of it being a reflection of the green croplands, no. A bluish tint can also mean a lot of rain. Severe thunderstorm warning.
Over the radio, you hear the announcer read the following severe thunderstorm warning.
Diameter hail.
A severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect until 5:45 p.m. for Washington County. At 4:13 p.m., National Weather Service Doppler radar indicated a severe thunderstorm capable of producing 2-inch diameter hail.
Ooh.
This storm was located 4 miles southeast of Independence, or 7 miles northwest of Springfield, moving east at 25 miles per hour. Locations remaining in the warning include, but are not limited to, Adams, Franklin, Greenville, Georgetown, and Oxford. At 4:01 p.m., law enforcement and trained weather spotters reported golf ball to tennis ball size hail near Franklin, or about 9 miles northwest of Springfield. At 4:09 p.m., another trained weather spotter reported 2-inch diameter hail in the town of Greenville, or approximately 5 miles north of Springfield.
The spotters calling in is how they know this.
Precautionary preparedness actions. If severe weather approaches your area, go inside a sturdy shelter away from creek beds and other flood-prone areas. Remember, a severe thunderstorm can produce large damaging hail, damaging winds in excess of 58 miles per hour, lightning, and very heavy rain.
Okay, so what do you think? Drive away from. Keep in mind you have a car full of your kids in this scenario.
Well,
That's the most safe.
Most safe. Stop. No, because if it's 2-inch diameter hail, that hail's punching right through your windscreen. Find a suitable building. Yes. Drive home 7 minutes behind you. You're driving back into the storm and you're risking. You're risking.
Yep.
There's a reason. There's a reason some storm chasers keep a bike helmet and safety goggles in their car for hail. Just for hail. Actually, I'd probably tell, if you were going to a baseball game, I'd tell your kids to put on your baseball helmets. Take shelter in the lowest lying area. No. Because hail. If it's just you, drive in a direction away from the storm. Wait, what? It rated that as a 4?
Well, let me see.
Okay,
wait, how fast is actually your car is going?
You're on a highway. Drive in a direction away from the storm.
60 miles
why is
per
that?
hour.
Why is that the least safe? That's what I want to know. That's what I want to know.
I'm confused.
Yeah, same.
A sturdy building, not a mobile home, is the safest. The closer the building is to your current location, the better. Stopping the car is with your seatbelt on and head below the level of the windows is safer than outrunning. Oh, that's why. Because you're basically trying to outrun a storm. That's if it's behind you far enough, outrunning it is okay. But if it's on you or you're in it, don't try to outrun it. You can't. You just can't. Outrunning a storm is not advised due to the speed. Yeah, good point. Okay, that makes sense then. Unless there's a tornado bearing down on you, do not take shelter in a low-lying ditch.
The soft tapping of raindrops on your windshield starts when you arrive home, barely ahead of the storm. You are lucky to get home before this storm hits. When you walk in the door, the weather radio in the family room continues to drone on with a severe thunderstorm warning. Your kids are dumping their stuff by the door, bickering about who gets the television remote. You're thinking about storm reports. If you see hail 1 inch or more in diameter, winds 58 miles per hour or faster, or a tornado, you should call your local NWS phone number. You keep it right next to your phone.
Inch-size hail, winds 58 miles an hour.
Peeking through the shades toward the storm, you spy a sky of dark sapphire, with frequent lightning flashes, and immediately feel bone-rattling thunder. Gusts of wind shake the tallest trees in your yard and bend your flowers to the ground, all while raindrops dance patterns on your windows.
Yes, to the basement.
In your basement where wind-blown rain, hail and debris will not be able to get.
Yes. What is bug want?
What's the scenario here?
Rain and wind thrash the windows, but the noise is changing.
Oh!
You wrangle up the kids, passing your friend.
What?
Okay. This is totally off topic, and I'm sorry.
What?
But okay. So, my best friend Bug, she has a stalker. And that stalker she told him to leave her alone and to fuck off, basically. And then what happened was he friended
And we're back. So, let's take a look at this. Wait.
Rain and wind thrash the windows, but the noise is changing. You wrangle up the kids, passing your front window on the way to the basement door.
I love the sound design.
Hail plummets past your windows.
Yes.
You stare awestruck, while your kids hurry across the room to the basement door. Hailstones are shattering on the street upon impact. Hail is growing easily to golf ball size. You turn to the basement door and hear the unmistakable sound of breaking glass. A tennis ball-sized hailstone bounces across the floor, chased by glass sprinkling through your legs. Slamming the basement door shut, you stumble down the stairs. You grab the corded phone at the bottom of the stairs and start dialing.
National Weather Service, because what's 911 gonna do about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just gonna be safe in your home and done. Because it's not some kind of robbery.
It depends on the phone. If it's a cell phone, because this is 2018, almost nearly everybody has a cell phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're free from that. This is a phone that lightning has gone through. I assume. Hello.
Hello, National Weather Service. May I help you?
Hello, it's hailing like crazy at my house in Franklin. Tennis ball-sized hail.
When did it start? Is it still hailing?
It started about a minute ago. Yes, it is still hailing.
Have you sustained any damage?
Yes, broken windows.
Can I get your name and phone number in case we need to follow up on this report?
I knew it.
Yeah, you can reach me at this number, and my name is...
Choose all that apply. Yes, all of that. I don't know if the webpage just broke or what.
It's broken.
It's broken.
Hail size gallery.
It's broken.
Tip for measuring hail. Hail should be... Hiccups. Hail should be measured along the longest dimension when reported to the National Weather Service. It is best to use a ruler or tape measure. In the absence of a ruler, it's best to compare hailstones against common standard-sized objects like tennis balls, or golf balls, or even softballs. It's also common to measure hailstone diameters versus coins, like this nickel. However, this hailstone is not nickel-sized. It's more comparable to $50. Measuring hail against objects of variable size, such as someone's hands, makes it difficult for the National Weather Service to determine its true size. Measure the largest stone found in the storm, as great variation can exist. If enough hail falls to completely cover the ground, they would also like to know how deep it is. You can report the depth of hail as you would a snowfall. Scenario summary. In this scenario, you saw what would happen to any one of us during a severe thunderstorm. You may have seen multiple instances of aces in action. You may have noted some instances where you could have been more situationally aware, where you could have postponed certain tasks due to impending weather. Always do best to remember aces when spotting. In the future, you can use certain storm features to help gauge threats to your safety better than just waiting for a warning. You've seen a spectrum of examples for anvils, overshooting tops, mamadas, precipitation shafts, virga, updraft, and storm coloration. There are 7 important components to the storm report. Your name, location, approximate location of hazardous weather if different than yours, type of hazardous weather, time that the weather started, its duration, and your contact information. Next scenario. Or review questions. 1 inch. 1 inch. It used to be 3/4 of an inch. It used to be.
Okay, and what happened?
I don't know. I don't know why they changed it. During the previous scenario, you made several decisions that likely increased your risk of injury or death. Which of the following was a safe decision? You called your husband. Yes. When you called your husband, it was a safe decision, but corded phones can be dangerous during electrical activities. However, if your power has failed, a corded phone can be the only option. Yeah, actually, corded phones are powered by phone lines. They're not powered by your house power. They're on their own circuit. An anvil is that crisp edges and strengthening. Ye. Virga is which of the following? Ye. A tilted updraft? No. Right? Am I going right?
Yes.
I don't know.
Baseball, no, just a quarter, because baseball and quarters are standardized objects. Which is scenario 2. Surveying this storm.
Dispatch, this is Akron Engine number 2 reporting. We're positioned on top of Monument Hill, just southwest of Akron. We'll be surveying the storm coming over Madison. We'll report back if anything develops. Over.
Thank you, Akron Engine number 2. Chief wishes you luck. Stay safe. Over.
Looks like this thing should get a warning on it any time now, including Akron. There's some nice structure.
Is my mic coming through on this one?
The National Weather Service has issued a tornado warning for southern Lincoln County. Until 8 p.m. At 7:31 p.m., radar indicated a storm capable of producing a tornado. This storm was located just southwest of Madison, or 21 miles southwest of Burlington, moving east at 15 miles per hour. Locations impacted include Kingsbury, Akron, Jamestown, and Levine.
There you go. That's this storm right here in front of us. That has to be almost over Madison by now. That makes it about 8 miles away from Akron.
What towns did they list in the path?
Kingsbury, Jamestown, and Levine. But that doesn't mean they'll see a tornado, just that they're in the path of the storm. You see anything hanging off the bottom of that storm?
Not right now. Check out right above the arc. You can see the clouds flying upward.
Based on that rain shaft, it's raining like crazy in there. That's really dark.
Yeah.
Check it out. There might be something trying to form back over there. Funnel-shaped, descending maybe a little.
I need to see video because it could be Scud. Is it
let's
rotating?
Wait on it.
Wait,
it looks interesting.
Wait, if
not
it's
sure
rotating,
if it's rotating though. You see any rotation or debris? Because I don't see any yet.
It's hard to tell if that's debris or just dust.
Let's give it a second.
We need to see if
You're
that's
right.
video.
It's not rotating. It looks like it's moving out from under the base.
It could be Scud, harmless
nice
clouds.
Lightning strike just then. They seem to be getting closer.
Look-alike, Scholar. Yeah, some features can look deceptively like tornadoes, even reaching or near the ground. The key is to watch for rotation. That is key. Like this is a steam devil, I want to say. No, wait, no, that's an actual tornado.
No, it's a tornado. It's spinning.
Oh, it's a dust devil.
Yeah, dust devil.
Have you seen one?
Yeah.
No. Really?
Mhm. They happen all the time here.
Really? I've never seen one, and I would honestly want to see one.
They're pretty interesting.
They're related to tornadoes. They form under the same conditions. Not under the same conditions, I'm sorry. But like similar mechanics to a tornado, I should say. Dust devils can be surprisingly strong. Yeah. Funnel clouds do often lead to tornadoes. If a funnel cloud is visible without any debris cloud at the surface, then it is not a tornado. I want to call bullshit on that one because while the precipitation or while the condensation funnel might not be all the way to the ground, the wind itself may be in contact with the ground. That's a good friggin' photo.
Wow.
Some cloud features can be extremely hard to identify when you're close or are obscured. Even precipitation shafts can be mistaken for a tornado. Remember to check for rotation. I need to turn my mic up and quiet down a bit because it's a little loud. It's going to be a long night.
Well, keep your eyes peeled. With the storm coming right for Akron, we need to stay alert.
I gotta let this load because my internet's being a douche. Doesn't help that I'm streaming at the same time either.
Right for Akron, we need to stay alert. It could tornado at any time.
They're
Radar
hooking.
Must
All of
be
these are
showing
hooking.
something rotating
All of
for
these are
NWS
hooking.
to have issued a tornado warning.
All of these are
yeah,
hooking.
hopefully nothing goes. But
Is
if
that
it does,
dangerous?
Chief can get the tornado sirens
All of these are
going,
hooking.
keeping people safe.
Yes,
Not quite sure
hooking.
why Chief hasn't decided to
hook
blow the
echo.
sirens yet.
That's
It'll
just
be
what
a
I
long
call it when
night
a
otherwise.
storm hook
You
echoes.
sit here?
Yeah, as long as it remains safe here. We know the location of the storm, and it's moving to the east, which should put it to our north.
You might want to turn this down if it sounds though, so I'm gonna freak out.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's gonna sound. If it does, I will.
On the storm. Reports seem to be coming over the radio from Madison too. Sounds like hail covering the streets and big branches.
I didn't hear anything.
Looks like they'll have some cleanup tonight too.
That's all
Not hearing anything about a tornado. If the storm turns, where would we go? I think we could get back to Red Lake Road. It's hard-packed and treeless.
We could take that as a southerly escape route, or we could just stay on this road and head east for a little bit if we need to.
Out here on the edge of town, we're left without shelter.
Yeah, that's true. We could get back to the station without too much effort. As the storm gets closer, we'll make sure to reevaluate. As a last-ditch effort, we could get out of the truck and get lower than the road. We'll have to stay alert.
Akron Engine Number 2. This is dispatch. We're getting reports of a funnel cloud. What are you seeing right now? Over.
We have some strong large-scale rotation, a slowly rotating wall cloud, and a pretty good clear slot on the back side. Over.
Okay, so radar must have been showing something. That's awareness. Awareness. Actually, I want to say, yeah, check it out. Awareness? This would be escape route, safe zone, awareness, communication, awareness. Am I right so far?
Yes.
I don't know.
Reevaluate. This is what I don't know. This is what I'm not too sure on.
Well, as the storm gets closer, we will make sure to
reevaluate. I want to say escape route.
Yeah, because you might have to reevaluate your escape route in case something happens to your one that you already have.
That was awareness, but communications.
Oh yeah.
Over. Yeah, it was on the CB. It was on the CB. That's right. The radio. Possible tornado? Wall cloud gallery. Yeah. Wall clouds can be rather ragged, giving them non-circular or oval forms. Yeah, rotation. A wall cloud is often but not always a precursor. Yeah. Yeah, there can actually be a tornado without a wall cloud. It can happen. Although circular, this wall cloud has significant tilt to the edges, making it more bell-shaped, which would cause major confusion. Tilted sides and extension known as a tail cloud. Tail clouds typically port towards the region of heavy precipitation in a storm. You will often see strong upward motions along the edges of a wall cloud. The movement there may be stronger than what you can observe anywhere else within the storm. Possible tornado?
How are we missing this reported funnel? Must be wrapped up in all that precip.
There it is. Possible tornado. It's been doing a good job hiding back there. Definitely.
Wait.
All that precip.
There it is.
Oh, it's a video.
Possible tornado. It's been doing a good job hiding back there.
It's an image, not a video.
Definitely kicking up some debris this time. Notify NWS over the ham.
This is KB8TYJ, Akron
There
Engine
it
number 2.
is.
That's a call sign.
We're seeing a tornado on the ground to our northwest and approximately 3 miles east of Madison at 7:39 p.m. Unknown duration. Definitely throwing around debris. We are located south and east of the storm on top of Monument Hill just southwest of Akron with no precipitation falling here. We'll keep monitoring the situation.
Tornado gallery. Tornadoes are defined as a violently rotating column of air in contact with the ground extending from the bottom of a convective cloud. A funnel may not always be visible. Like in this case, there is no visible funnel. There's just a little flurg extending from the cloud that's barely visible, but the debris funnel is there. The visibility of debris can change depending on the type of land. That Otherwise, sometimes there's no mistaking, like here. This is called an elephant trunk style tornado because you can see why.
Yeah.
Lighting characteristics can alter the coloration. This is called a wedge because it's wider than it is tall. Tornadoes can vary in width and height from thin and tall to wide and short. That's another elephant trunk. Tornadoes can occur over land or water. We actually covered this. This is the Elkhart tornado in an earlier part of.
Yeah.
This is looks like a dual tornado. Tornadoes may rotate about a common center. Yeah, it's terrifying to see that. Scenario summary. The firefighters in this scenario showed excellent communication skills between themselves and the National Weather Service, all while covering ACEs. They were constantly on the lookout for storm features that would help the NWS with their warning process. You were given a spectrum of examples of tornado lookalikes, wall clouds, and tornadoes. A tornado is a violently rotating column of air. Yeah, this is important to remember to make sure you're making the most accurate report. Okay, so define a tornado. Yes. Yes.
Yes. Well, does it have to be in contact with the ground?
The rotation.
Oh, okay.
Actually, that's a good point. A wall cloud is usually, not always, but usually, a wall cloud is required. No, it is not. Ye. A and D. Oh, rotation. Okay.
Ye.
With respect to the shaft, with respect to the precipitation shaft, where does the tail cloud point towards the precipitation? Usually. A tornado warning means that a tornado is any of the above. Towns listed in the warnings may be hit. Individuals in the warning polygon.
Well, no, it wouldn't be any of the above because a warning is
may indicate that a tornado is possible, imminent, present, developing, any of the above, not all of the above. All of the above would all
any.
Of this.
Oh,
yeah.
I thought it said all.
Yes, so did I. It's fine. Seek shelter immediately. I would want to go outside and watch the effing thing.
Yep. Yeah, you really love weather, brother.
Scenario number 3. We're almost done. Hang in there.
After this, I think we should watch some stories about tornadoes.
I'm taking the highway into town to get home before the storm.
I gotta pee.
Your boss exclaims to deaf ears.
I gotta take a whiz at the end of this.
While looking to the northwest, seeing this ominous cloud formation. You drive quickly out of the company parking lot. Westbound along the highway straight into town, you get the impression that the storm is heading southeast, and you guess it's entered the north side of town.
What does that sound?
Driving the speed limit, you have another 8 or 10 minutes until you could be home on the southwest side of town.
If this computer had a disk drive, I'd say we could all watch Storm Chasers.
And approaching faster than you expected. What is this, and what's behind it?
But this computer does not have a disk drive.
There is definitely some greenish coloration above that ledge.
My computer does.
Because you have a desktop, I have a laptop.
Yeah.
Shelf cloud gallery. That's a panorama image, and it's beautiful.
Wow.
It is.
That's ominous, amazingly long, and very low to the ground. Others can just be extremely dark or oddly colored. No matter their appearance, the shelf cloud indicates the damaging.
It was actually that dark one time.
Yeah. This actually happened a few months ago. My dad got a camera installed in the house. Not installed, but he bought a camera to put in the living room, living room, so he could watch the dogs. And I was home one day. It got really dark, and he called me saying, "Hey, the camera just went night vision. What the hell's going on?" And I said, there's a storm here. It was.
You better get the fuck to safety. Take the dogs with you.
I was ready to. I was ready to pick the dogs up and take each one of them to the basement with me if I had to.
And yeet.
I was prepared to pick them up. I'd do that if I had to.
Yeah.
Yeah. I agree.
Doggos and cats are like family. Actually, they not like family. They are family.
They are family.
The welcoming sight of the city limits
your
sign
HTML
greets you,
broke here.
But you're not liking your chances of beating the storm home now. Winds are now howling. Trees are bending. Streetlights are swinging violently. It seems like it might be time to seek shelter. But where? The locations around you right now include a strip mall next to a line of tall telephone poles, an abandoned covered gas station without gas pumps, a crowded one-story standalone brick restaurant surrounded by cars, and a cinder block body shop with a windowed garage door.
Of these places, your HTML or JavaScript has broken right there. Which shelter would you select of the list for high winds?
Body shop.
I'd say either cinder block or the crowded restaurants.
Yeah.
Let's say the cinder block. Oh. Ideally, the best constructed, the body shop versus the restaurant, but garage doors are commonly blown in. Yes, but the problem is you are not in the garage. You're in the main lobby.
The jangle of the bell on the restaurant door is oddly cheery at a time like this. You hurriedly pass a cluster of onlookers staring out the windows at the stampeding
The
shelf
walk-in
cloud.
fridge is the safest
Please
area.
get away from the windows.
Huh? Why?
When that cloud reaches us, there's a good possibility of winds blowing
people
debris through these windows.
Actually ridden
We should
out
find shelter now.
large tornadoes within a restaurant and help. There's a couple cases where they rode out a friggin' EF5 tornado passing overhead and a gas station's walk-in beer cooler. I'm not joking. That has happened many times.
That's amazing.
Typically, the bathroom's the safest place, but if you notice the floor plan, it's in an exterior wall.
Yeah.
If you can't get into the fridge, the kitchen on this side, just this little area, but the walk-in fridge is the safest.
Yeah, because it looks the safest to me too.
An older gentleman behind the counter, probably the manager, explains that the safest location is the walk-in refrigerator.
Called it.
Follow me. It'll be cold in there, but it's safer than being out here.
I'd rather be cold
The building
than
begins
dead.
to
Thank you
creak
very
and
much.
whistle with the gusting winds. A few stragglers are still plastered to the windows.
Of course.
I'm not sure what you expect to see. Let's be safe rather than waiting for this to blow through.
I'd rather be
A flapping, followed by a rattling noise, skitters across the roof, and people at the windows duck for cover.
Get back here to the fridge.
Now! Go.
What was that noise?
Sounds like the roof. We're in the safest location now. Don't worry
Nothing.
about the noises. If roofing material is all the damage we get,
What was that
consider
noise?
yourself lucky.
Nothing.
The restaurant groans as the winds gust threateningly. After a few of the longest minutes of your life, the winds only grow louder. Joined now by the beating of rain and possibly hail, someone in the crowd starts to whimper.
We're almost there. Hang in there. This shouldn't last much longer.
Gasps are drowned out by screams echoing around the cold walls of the fridge as glass
Wait, did I
shatters
just
somewhere
hear
in the
shit?
restaurant. The sound of crunching metal
Shouldn't.
is followed awkwardly by
Oh,
the fridge door
okay.
straining under the stress
was
of
like-
more wind, and a car alarm begins its incessant whooping outside the restaurant. The frequent groaning of
Incessant
the building
whooping.
lessens, and the din of rain and hail transitions to what sounds like a moderate rain. No one has been injured here, which you consider lucky as you open the door to the fridge. You find a small car thrust against the wall of the restaurant.
What?
Plenty of leaves, some grass, sprinklings of glass, the odd bit of insulation, some roofing, nickel-sized hail, and other bits of debris litter the restaurant tables and floors. Further afield through the moderate rain, the line of telephone poles across the street
Oh, that's a
is
lot of
snapped.
mess to clean.
Okay, so you would report this as thunderstorm wind damage because unless you actually saw a tornado yourself, you should not report it as tornado damage because wind can be really freaking strong.
To the ground with some
Look at a
poles on the
hurricane.
roof of the strip mall. The gas station awning has been torn off its moorings, now laying twisted on the ground. A few of the cars in the lot have lost windows, but the reason is unknown. A call to the NWS would be beneficial, since there has been damage, and they would be interested in knowing what happened.
Winds greater than or equal to 58 and thunderstorm damage, you would not report it as a tornado, because you don't know. Yeah, see, you cannot tell anything about the wind speeds or whether there was a tornado.
Yeah.
I was right. What's
Help,
this?
over here!
Emerging from the auto body shop come a few individuals, with a definite look of panic on their faces.
Call for help! We have injuries over here!
Now, with injuries, a call to the NWS can wait. Before notifying the NWS, make sure emergency services know about any injuries, or worse,
before calling the
fatalities.
National Weather Service.
There's an ambulance on the way.
You tell yourself to report the damage. Let NWS know what is happening on the ground to help protect individuals in the path of the storm.
Hello, National Weather Service. May I help you?
Hello,
He's got a
my name is
headset, Mike.
Benjamin Hale.
He's got a
I'm
headset.
calling from
Oh, yeah.
Manchester near the
Yes.
intersection of Waynesboro Avenue and
This
Business
dude is
51,
awesome.
where at 8:50 p.m. we had strong winds causing damage. Not sure whether it was a tornado or not. We have power poles down, roofing torn off, some buildings crumbling, and at least one injury.
Have you called emergency services about the injury?
Yes, we have an ambulance on the way.
We have reports of a tornado from a spotter a few miles out of town. Can you see anything to your east that would confirm this?
I can't really see anything from the backside of this storm. It is raining too hard right now, and it's getting too dark.
Thanks for your report. Stay safe and make sure the injured get treatment. Oh, and hold on. How fast are the winds out there now?
I don't know how to tell.
I've never made an actual phone spotter report. Disclaimer. Wind speed galaxy. Okay, this is actually going to be cool. This is the Beaufort wind scale, which is
that's interesting.
layer. Look, you can actually see the effects rendered. Leaves and small twigs in motion. Wind raises dust and leaves papers, small branches. Small trees begin to sway. Large branches in motion. Whole trees in motion. Twigs break off. Leaves. Roofing tiles. And then higher than that, goodbye tree.
Destructions.
Yeet! There goes the tree.
Scenario summary. In this scenario, you saw how a haphazard decision could lead to worse consequences during adverse weather. This individual was lucky to find shelter in time before encountering damaging winds. The ordering of the phone calls was paramount. Always call emergency services first before the NWS if there are injuries, fatalities, or hazards that should be responded to immediately. Your safety is number one, but you aid your community as well by making reports and calling emergency services. Even though you may not think that reporting damage is as important to the NWS as the actual hazard, this information can be just as useful in the warning process and for post-storm surveys. Takeaways. Okay, so review questions. After true or false. After reportable severe weather phenomena. I would say false because it would depend on if there's injuries or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, exactly. What structure would you look for a storm? Yes. Yes. Yes.
Structure is well constructed.
Yes. Road wouldn't really matter. Faces north would not matter. Let's see what it says. Yeah.
Yeah, bro, we smart.
Yeah, we are smart.
Should be reported to the NWS. They don't give a shit about if the storm has gone green or if the storm has greenage. That's an obscure reference right there. Ever seen Twister?
Nah.
The movie?
I think I've seen it before.
It's been a long time since I've seen it, but that's an obscure reference from there. Module takeaways. What's next?
I think we should stop there. That seems like
and
really
then
good.
there's this.
Let's do the quiz.
Yes. It's gonna be a long, long night for you guys.
Nah. could definitively identify the lowered part of... No, you can't identify the wall cloud.
No.
The most important characteristic for what is is rotation persistent. Persistent rotation.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What is the difference between a funnel cloud and a tornado? Funnel clouds do not reach the ground.
Yeah. They are like a little bit
Yeah,
above
because
the ground.
a tornado touches the ground.
Looks like reaching the ground.
Yep. A ruler or a common object. A common standardized object. This is convective basics, but it doesn't show how storms form or all the elements. That's another day. We're saving that.
Yeah.
Turn on the radio to see if we're under... I'd say that'd be awareness. That'd be communication. Yeah. Lightning strikes, that'd be safe zone. Storm is gaining on us, escape route. Underpass is flooded from that storm that went over. There's another road from escape route. I don't know. Would this be awareness or communication? Because escape.
That wind was pretty loud. I'd better make it a report. I feel like it'd be communication.
Yeah.
Because he's making a report.
Yeah, it's a report.
In all cases, no. We actually had a question on that in the mini quiz. Choose all that apply. Well constructed and close by. Southwest does not freaking matter. The direction that it's built does not fucking matter. Aces.
Yeah, it is.
Awareness, communication, escape routes, and safe zones. Storm chasing.
Yes. Really?
Storm chasing.
7 key elements: location. How the fuck are you gonna know the type of storm? Type of hazardous weather, duration, the name, and your time. We've had this question many times before. What'd we get? We pass? Yeah! We passed. We're
bitch, we whoa, we smart bitches, yeah.
Yeah, we're smart ones in here.
We're basically we've basically done enough to be basically storm spotters.
Hell yeah.
I'm just gonna go with neutral. Yes for you all, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Particularly interesting, useful, and well-designed elements. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't need improvements.
Yeah.
No prior experience. Studied it. I've studied it informally. There we go. And then we're gonna go to... Now let me show you something that I go to all the time. spc.noaa.gov. This you can actually see. Let's take a look at
anything for Texas.
For this part, Houston, Austin, Shreveport, Jackson, Pasadena. Severe thunderstorms are possible Wednesday afternoon into Wednesday night. But this is not just it. You can actually go to forecast tools, observed soundings. The sounding chart is something for a whole nother day. But I'm just gonna introduce this.
Okay.
This is your typical sounding. This is your typical weather sounding. It's a lot. It's a lot to look at, and I agree it is. But
yeah, it is.
We'll break it down another day. I'm just showing you the resources. If you're curious enough to look at it on your own, right there is where you're gonna want to look at. Sounding help page. If you're curious enough to learn about it on your own, then you'd also want to look at mesoanalysis, which it automatically centers on Texas.
Yep, here comes
deep in the heart of Texas.
And then I can go. I don't fully understand what everything means, but this is the scale of the resources that one has available.
It kind of looks like a topographical map.
It's not.
It kind of looks like it, but it's not.
Yeah.
That would be... There's nothing over where I am, but over here. And then you can, like, double-click for tornado climatology. If I just picked a random thing. These are box and whisker plots.
Oh.
Which I haven't actually seriously looked at since, like, 4th grade. These are tornado stripes and etc. Yeah. That's really about it. At least for this time. Next time, who knows what. But basically, after seeing this, you're practically storm spotters.
Yeah.
Practically a storm spotter at this point.
But we're storm.
You would have to look it up for your local National Weather Service, the contact number, because it'd be different for you. I don't even know where to find it, but I'm actually let's see how hard it is to find it. I'm just gonna go to my local office. Oh. It's not hard to find. Though that's
all right.
Though that's to call them that's just to call them if you want to know general information. I'm not sure if there's a spotter hotline. Like, okay, right here is where you're going to this is the hazardous weather outlook. Sometimes it'll say interesting things. Not interesting like funny. I've never seen it say that, but like this is where you're going to want to look, the spotter information statement. I've only seen it say spotter activation is expected for my area a few times. And it gives me chills whenever it says that. Sometimes they update it. But most often you'll see it say like 5 a.m. EDT. Weather forecasters they don't sleep, apparently. Apparently, people at the National Weather Service sleep. They don't sleep.
We're sleeping. Let's work for eternity.
All right, I've been streaming for 2 hours, so I think I should end it here now.
Yeah.
Well, next time I decide to do this, I don't know what the topic will be, but it will be in the title. And on that note, I will see you next time.